Dun, 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 dun. I'm trying so hard to audition to become part of John Williams' orchestra. Maybe they'll hire me for episode 8. Anyway, hello there, guys. What's up? It's Autobot18. It's been a long journey, guys. It really has, watching this entire trilogy. But it has finally come to an end because, guys, this is my old movie review for Star Wars Return of the Jedi. That's right, guys. I have finally watched the entire original Star Wars trilogy. You guys can stop freaking out in the comments. Mike, why haven't you watched these movies? Mike, where have you been? What's wrong with you? Why haven't you seen the original Star Wars movies? I have now seen them all, guys, okay? They're all done, okay? I have yet to see the prequels, though. Not looking forward to that. But, of course, guys, yes, I had to watch all of the original Star Wars movies, and I am going to be watching the prequels. I don't think I'm going to be reviewing them, but I'll talk about that later in the end of this video. But I had to watch all the Star Wars movies in order to prepare for the upcoming release of Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, the end of this year. Everybody and their mother is literally talking about going to see this movie. It's probably going to become the biggest grossing opening film of all time. It's Star Wars Episode 7. Okay, people have been waiting years for this movie, and it's finally coming out, and I want to be a part of the hype, so I had to watch all these Star Wars movies. So yes, I have finally watched Star Wars Return of the Jedi. I literally watched Empire last week, and then I loved Empire so much, obviously, because it's freaking Empire Strikes Back, and widely regarded as one of the best films ever made. So naturally, with the way that film ended, I could not wait to see how Return of the Jedi was going to pick up, how they were going to cap off this trilogy. I was really anticipating it, in all honesty. So guys, Return of the Jedi was released in 1983, and again, I'm sitting so close in front of the camera. Hello, guys. This first 2 minutes is so creepy. I'm sorry. But I'm sitting so close because, again, I don't have a poster. I don't have the Blu-ray. I had to watch these movies online. But I hear they're releasing steelbooks in November for every Star Wars movie. I think I'm going to pick up the first 3 movies, the episode 4, 5, and 6 on Blu-ray steelbook. Mark your calendars, guys. So yeah, Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, was released in 1983, 2 years after Empire Strikes Back, and it was not directed by George Lucas like the first one was. It was not directed by Irving Kershner, I don't know how to say his name, but it was directed by Ross Marquand, and I believe George Lucas did end up co-writing the screenplay, or working on co-writing the story for the movie. And Return of the Jedi picks up literally right where Empire Strikes Back ended. It is up to our 2 of our main heroes, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, along with Chewbacca and our 2 favorite droids, R2-D2 and C-3PO, to rescue Han Solo from the clutches of Jabba the Hutt. I almost said Boba Fett. Boba Fett's there too. But Jabba the Hutt has taken the frozen carbonite Han Solo from Darth Vader, or from Boba Fett. And they need to rescue Han Solo, so they go on this opening 30-minute rescue mission to get Han Solo back. Meanwhile, simultaneously, Darth Vader and the rest of the Imperial Alliance are working on perfecting a brand new Death Star machine. As we all remember, the Death Star from the first movie, this one is even bigger, and this one is probably going to even do more damage than the first movie Death Star could have, but we didn't get to see it do that much damage. Thank you, Luke, for saving the galaxy. So yes, Darth Vader is back. He's got a plan. Him along and the Emperor are teaming up in this movie, and they want to get Luke. They want him to join the dark side, and Luke has to literally battle these 2, and he's going to come face to face with them in the final conflict between the forces of good and evil. And he has to ultimately make an important decision. And he's not the only character who's got to make a big decision, and that's all I'm going to say. Anyway, guys, yes, so it's up to the Rebel Alliance to take on the Empire once again in this movie with their new and improved Death Star. And guys, what can I say about Return of the Jedi? This is the final film in the original Star Wars series. I was naturally extremely... I bought this shirt, I think even before I watched Empire Strikes Back, okay? That's how much I enjoyed the first Star Wars. That's how much I enjoyed Empire. So naturally, I was looking forward to the conclusion, the wrapping up, the capping off of this trilogy with Return of the Jedi. And guys, I was not disappointed at all. I loved Star Wars Return of the Jedi. This was a perfect way to end the trilogy, in my opinion. Now, hold on a second. I know half of you guys are immediately going to be like, Mike, this was a really good movie. It's a great way to end the trilogy. Why do you think it says good, or why do you think it's near perfect like the first two movies were? Mike, this movie had flaws. Did you not see the Ewoks in this movie? Did they not piss you off? Did the special edition changes not piss you off? You know, the hologram Anakin Skywalker Hayden Christensen, did that not piss you off, Mike? Yes, guys, okay, there are little minor things here or there in this movie that bothered me. But ultimately, Return of the Jedi is everything I wanted, plus a little bit more for the conclusion of this trilogy. It's got everything that made the first two Star Wars films great. And yes, it has the Ewoks. Yes, it has their giant army. But I'm going to give multiple reasons as to why I didn't care. I didn't like that. They didn't bother me. Why the ending of the film, the celebration of sorts, didn't bother me and all that. I'm going to give reasons. I'll back my opinions up, of course. But I enjoyed this movie. Honestly, looking back at this whole trilogy, and I know you guys are going to ask me, Mike, what's the best one of the trilogy? Mike, say Empire. Say Empire. Say Empire. But I honestly don't know. I love all three of these movies. Obviously, Return of the Jedi is my least favorite of the bunch. However, when you look at the first Star Wars and Empire, I don't know what I'd say in terms of what I like more, what I prefer. I love both of those movies. And honestly, when you look at it, this is like the Indiana Jones. This is just like the Indiana Jones trilogy, okay? I rewatched Last Crusade, scenes from Last Crusade the other day, and I was thinking to myself, holy crap, the Star Wars trilogy is nearly like the Indiana Jones trilogy. All three Indiana Jones movies are great. I give all three films a 10. The same can be said with the first Star Wars trilogy. I'm saying it here. I'm saying it now. I give all three Star Wars films a 10. I loved all of them. I think they all have their own greatnesses. I think they all have their own accomplishments. I think they all have their own, like, good things working for them in their own ways. And that's ultimately why I like this trilogy as a whole. And I loved the ending. I loved what they did with this final installment, with Return of the Jedi. Now, something that I think has improved upon as all of the Star Wars films have progressed, in all honesty, is really the action set pieces. Now, I'm a little worried for the prequels because everybody bashes the prequels, but I'm assuming, obviously, they went bigger with the prequels, but they probably overdid it with the CGI, which is what killed the prequels. This movie, like the first two, still relies on heavy practical effects to really create that feeling of authenticity that we should get with CGI but usually don't. With Return of the Jedi, they went even bigger with the set pieces this time, probably than with Empire Strikes Back. Now, Empire had a lot of great scenes. The At Walker scene at the Battle of Hoth, but this movie had great moments as well. The first scene at Jabba's hut, where they got to rescue Han Solo, and that whole moment where Jabba wants to pretty much end Han Solo and Luke. That whole fight scene, that's one of my favorite scenes of the whole trilogy. I love it. It was exciting. It was fascinating. It was a great way to get us into this plot of this final installment. Now, everybody loved Empire because it had great twists in it. Yes, it did. It has one of the best movie twists of all time. However, Return of the Jedi, although I knew this twist coming in as well, there is an important twist that is revealed from Luke as Luke figures it out midway in the film. It involves him and Leia, and that's all I'm going to say if anybody hasn't seen these movies. But I like that twist too. Even though I knew it was coming, it was a good twist. And if I did not know it was coming, I would have been legitimately surprised. So this movie, yes, it's slightly under Empire Strikes Back. Empire Strikes Back is right here. Return of the Jedi is like right here, and the first Star Wars is kind of like here. Like, I love the first two so much, I don't know which one I love more. Return of the Jedi is literally right here, but I like it. I still like it, and I still enjoy it. I'm still entertained by it. It's still the Star Wars I know and love. It still has Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher in quite possibly the best trio of characters in movie history. I love this group. I love this pairing. I love our side characters of Chewbacca and R2-D2 and C-3PO. And it's great to see the humor that they bring, as I've mentioned in my last 2 Star Wars reviews, the humor they bring to the story, the situations they get themselves into, it's freaking great, okay? It's so enjoyable and entertaining to watch. The Ewoks just praising C-3PO as like their sworn leader or something in this movie, that's great. I love the hell out of that. Again, do I have to go on about John Williams' score? I attempted a crappy version of it in the beginning of this video when I opened. Dun 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 dun. Like, it's a famous theme. It's iconic. It's perfect. It's perfectly used. The score itself in general is perfect in all of these Star Wars movies. It's just score, composition, perfection at its finest. John Williams is one of the best composers of all time, guys. I mean, again, the action set pieces are huge. The action scenes themselves are well shot. The whole, like, every scene on Endor is great. Whether it's the chase sequences on the planet or the scenes where Leia and Han Solo are trying to bust down the shields of the Death Star, and, you know, they're fighting off all the stormtroopers, and, like, Darth Vader had a couple great twists here or there. Darth Vader once again stands out as a memorable, iconic villain with wise and important decisions that not only he has to make, but Luke has to make. And that's ultimately one thing I really liked about Return of the Jedi. Yeah, Empire Strikes Back touched upon this too, but I think Return of the Jedi touches upon this just a bit more. One thing that the screenplay places major emphasis on is the choices that characters must commit. As people, we always have to make important life or death decisions, good or evil. I mean, I'm making those choices like every day of my life. No, I'm kidding. But we all have to make important decisions. The decision Luke has to make in this movie is something that is conflicting him from the inside when he has these 2 different sides. One is Darth Vader. The other is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Yoda. And just that conflict that he has to go through, that inner battle to try to find who he should turn to, good or evil, is amazing. And there's another character, without spoiling anything, within the climax of this movie, which is perfect, by the way. Not as good, not as exciting or engaging as the lightsaber battle in Empire, but it's like, it's nearly as iconic as that because of what one of the characters decides to do. And that decision he must make, and whether or not he's going to be swayed by Luke or whatnot. And I just don't want to spoil it. It's just freaking cinema perfection, guys. What else can I say? Again, new introduction of characters, new technology. I love just seeing, one thing that has just blown my mind with all these Star Wars movies, seeing the introduction of new weapons or new machines or new inventions that are used by either the Empire or used by the Rebels, whatever. The whole scene on Endor with the introduction of the Ewoks and what, like, little annoying little bastard characters they are, but at the same time very important to the plot. And they don't annoy me as much as I think they annoyed everybody else. I actually thought, yeah, okay, they annoy me. They're speaking Ewokese and I have no idea what the hell they're saying. Half the time I'm just like, alright, let's just get on with this, go to the next scene. I don't care what they're saying. But they come into the story at a very necessary time. And a lot of people are like, oh, why would they take on Darth Vader's troops? They're like the best of the best. How are the Ewoks able to just take them on and defeat some of them? I mean, it's the Ewoks. They are huge in numbers, and they're little annoying bastards. That is how they took on the stormtroopers. That is what I loved about Return of the Jedi. They were even significant to the plot. They have a purpose here, as does our main characters, as does Luke when he's trying to combat that inner conflict that's going on, that's raging in his head as to what side he should turn. I love the ending of this movie. I love the structure of not just Return of the Jedi. All of these movies is perfect. A perfect 3-act structure. Just perfect. Okay, with a great climax, great conflicts yet again. Not only just between a character and himself, but between all of our different characters. And this, for real, is like the battle of all battles. Like, this is the battle that's just going to determine everything. If the Empire loses here, they're done for. If the Rebels lose here, they're done for. Okay, this is like the most important, like, battle of both sides, and one is going to come out as the victor. And of course, we probably know who it is, but oh well, it's still exciting to watch. I mean, the humor's there. It's not as iconic or humorous or classic as the first film in regards to the story. It sort of borrows that same Death Star plot point of the first movie, but I'm fine with that. I'll live with it. It doesn't bother me all that much. It doesn't have as many, like, it didn't do as many different things as it did with the characters like Empire did. It didn't, like, Darth Vader is still at his utter strong point in Empire. And yeah, that movie has somewhat better moments than this movie, but this movie still has its share of iconic moments, great action scenes, fight sequences, just overall, once again, adding to this creative universe of Star Wars with new characters and new technology and weapons and all that, and just overall new wonder and awe to be bewildered by. And that is why I loved Return of the Jedi. I think it's a great final chapter. I love the ending. It's perfect. It's so fitting. It's emotionally satisfying. It did everything I wanted it to do plus more. It is just what you want from a Star Wars movie. Overall, guys, Star Wars Return of the Jedi is awesome. I am going to give this movie a perfect score of a 10 out of 10 or an A+. Guys, it is just as good, slightly under, but just as good as the first two Star Wars movies. I have now given this entire trilogy a 10 out of 10, which basically means it's like Indiana Jones. It is the perfect film trilogy of all time, okay? It is. I love Star Wars. I loved what it did. I loved how it surprised me in nearly every way. It's just an iconic series, and this Return of the Jedi was a perfect way to cap it all off. Guys, those are my thoughts on Return of the Jedi. I am now an official Star Wars fan, okay? I'm not as hardcore as many of you guys who have stuck with this series since 1977. I wasn't even born then, so I can't help that. But I am still pumped for The Force Awakens. I will be seeing The Force Awakens, of course, when it comes out, and I will be reviewing it. I will be pumped, like most of you guys, not as hardcore, but I am still pumped because I love these movies. I'm dreading the prequels. I will not be reviewing the prequels, guys. I don't want to divert 3 separate old movie reviews to them. I think I just might make one video just summing up my thoughts on all of them in general. I'll do that like closer to the release of Force Awakens. But guys, thank you so much for watching my review of Return of the Jedi, and of course my last 2 Star Wars reviews. I hope you enjoyed them. Hope you enjoyed my thoughts. I'm glad you guys should be happy I finally watched them. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.